Thank you. The language that you just heard was Nyampa, and in that song I said that I was from the Belakian Lu nation, which is from the Shiok people of my tribe. And what I'd like to do now is acknowledge the traditional people of this land, the Gunditjmara people, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past and present, and also acknowledge all Aboriginal people in this room and everyone from every single culture. Thank you, we're here today together. Later on, you'll be learning more of my language, but first, we'll be learning a bit more about the orchestra and how music works in an orchestra. So, we'll welcome Thea to the stage. Everyone give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Eric. Wasn't that a beautiful song? Let's give him another round of applause. So my name is Thea, but the people behind me are called the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. Let's give them a big round of applause. We call them the MSO for short, and you can use that nickname if you like as well. Today, they're going to play some beautiful music for us from different times and different places. And you'll notice that Eric and I have a seat up the back there, and so we get to listen just like you, be audience members. And if you're not sure what to do in an orchestral performance, you can watch us. We've got our listening ears turned on and we're concentrating and watching all the time. A little bit later on, we're going to learn a piece of music that Eric has written for us. But before we get started, the orchestra needs to do something special. Does anyone know what that is? Before an orchestra starts to play, they do something. Can you call it out? They warm up, and the special word for that is they tune. So they tune to make sure they're all playing nice and together in the same note. So let's get an A on the oboe from Thomas. Switched on this morning, fantastic. So what we were doing just then is an ingredient that composers often use when they write music. It was call and response. So I called something out to you and you responded. We're going to hear a little bit more about that in a second. But you've met Eric and you've met me, and it's time to meet the third presenter. He comes from inside the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. It's Nick on the cello.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Good to see so many of you. Good to hear you using your voices and listening, because you were just having a musical conversation there with Thea and with the orchestra. And I think, as Thea just said then, musical conversation is a very important ingredient in music for the orchestra. So now, to have a particular sort of musical conversation, we're really lucky to have two fantastic soloists with us. We have Michael Collins, who is an internationally recognised master of the clarinet, and we have Lloyd Van Hoff, who was recently crowned the Australian Young Performer of the Year. Will you please welcome the dynamic duo of the clarinet to the stage, Michael and Lloyd. So just again, what instrument did I say Michael is the master of? That's it. And does anyone know which orchestral family the clarinet belongs to? Call it out if you know. No, it's close to the brass section. Does anyone know which section it is? It's made of wood. That's it. It is a member of the woodwind family. So what does that mean? How do you make the sound on the clarinet?
Well, if I take this thing on, it's called a reed. And if I try to blow it without the clarinet, this happens. Nothing. So I just put it back onto the mouthpiece and then put this thing on, called a ligature, to hold it in place. And then magic.
Wow, that is a beautiful sound. Now, Lloyd, this thing you have here, it kind of looks like a clarinet, but it's not really the same. What is it?
That's right, this is a basset horn, and it's a member of the clarinet family. So we make the sound the same way the clarinet does, except the only real difference is that it's longer, slightly longer than the clarinet.
Okay, so if it's a bit longer, what's that going to do to the sound? I'm thinking that sounds a little bit, yeah, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Well done. I'm thinking it sounds a little bit deeper or lower. Now, I wonder if that's because it's bigger. We've got lots of different size instruments. So let's see if it's the same for some of the others. How about, look, this is a really small instrument. That's a violin. This is Dale. What does a violin sound like? Ah, that's very interesting. And if we have a big instrument, we've got the double bass over here. And if Andrew plays it with the bow for the sake of good comparisons, we can hear how it sounds. Whoa, that is really low. So I reckon we've proven it. The bigger instruments sound lower than the smaller ones. It's the same for all of them. Now, we're going to play a piece by Mendelssohn. Now, Mendelssohn was a German composer from about 200 years ago. Now, he's written a piece to have two clarinets out the front, but why has he done that? Because we've already got two in the orchestra.
Well, sometimes there's a work, and it's called a concerto, and it's for solo instruments. And on this occasion, there's two clarinets, clarinet and basset horn. So we take the role of solo, while there's the rest of the orchestra. We're all really together in this, but it highlights the clarinet as a solo instrument.
Okay, so if you write a solo for an instrument in orchestra, it's called a concerto, I think. Do you know why he chose two clarinets, though?
Well, Mendelssohn had two friends who played the clarinet, Heinrich and Karl Behrmann. Now, where they were from in Munich, they had this special dish called steamed dumplings, and you could only get it in Munich. Now, where Mendelssohn lived in Berlin, he missed these dumplings. So one day, Heinrich and Karl visited Mendelssohn at his home and decided to cook these dumplings for him in exchange for a piece of music. And this is that piece of music.
Aha, so the music sort of forms part of an exchange of gifts. I know, Eric's a composer. Hey, Michael, what if you were to cook your special dish, which, as a patriotic Englishman, I know is beef Wellington, for...
Oh, wow, yes,
that's
yeah,
right,
that's right, yep.
For Eric. Eric, would you write him a piece for that?
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah.
I think it sounds like
It's nice.
Yeah, beef Wellington's a lot of work. I think it'd be a fair exchange. So having two clarinets out the front means that Mendelssohn has more things that he can do with his musical ingredients. We've already heard about musical conversation, and now we're going to hear a little bit about melody or tune and accompaniment. So, what does Mendelssohn do with the two clarinets at the beginning? So you're mostly taking turns playing the tune. Let's have a listen to the first movement of Mendelssohn's concert piece for clarinet, basset horn and orchestra. That's really wonderful. Now, it sounded like a fairly friendly sort of conversation you're having there, mostly like you're agreeing with each other.
Yes,
I think.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so what happens in the next section? How does he use the clarinets there? So now you're not just agreeing with each other, you're actually saying or perhaps singing the same thing.
Yeah.
So here Mendelssohn's using the two clarinets kind of like one instrument to play the tune. But if you're playing the tune, is there an accompaniment somewhere?
Yes.
So the string section kind of walks along with a gentle accompaniment to support the tune. Let's listen to the second movement. That really is extremely beautiful. And now, we've heard quite a lot of what the clarinet can do, but I think there's one thing about the clarinet that we haven't heard yet, and I think it is the fastest and most agile instrument in the orchestra.
Oh my God.
I'm afraid it looks like Thomas disagrees with me. We've been doing this all week, and you decide to argue with me now? Here, in front of all these people? Okay, so I think it's going to be... sorry, just give us a minute. We're going to have to sort this out. I think what we need to do is we're going to have a test. So you're going to have to play something now that you've stood up, and I need one of you to... Who's with...
Over to you.
Okay, well, all right. Here's how it's going to work. Thomas is going to play something. You're going to listen really carefully. Lloyd's going to play something. You're going to listen really carefully. And then you get to vote for which is the faster instrument. And ready, set, go. Whoa, okay. Well,
Go for it.
that is pretty fast. I reckon there's not much in it. So if you want to vote for Thomas on the oboe, put your hand up now. Oh. Okay, if you want to vote for Lloyd on the Basset Horn, put your hand up now.
Oh, even Stevens there, is it?
Okay, I've counted everyone. It is actually a tie. There you go. So, playing the equal fastest instrument in the orchestra. Thank you, Thomas. You'll hear some very, very fast playing in this next bit. And if you listen really carefully, Lloyd plays some of that very fast stuff as an accompaniment while the orchestra plays the tune. Let's hear it.
Yes, come on. Yes.
Thank you very much. That was so fantastic, and I think they just need one more huge round of applause for Michael and Lloyd.
Bye-bye.
Do you know, I always find it hard to sit still in that third movement because I just want to get up and dance along. Does anyone else feel like doing anything, or do they imagine something when they hear that? What did you feel like? You feel like dancing and singing along as well. Awesome. What about you? Same? Yeah, anyone else feel like dancing? Yeah, it's one of those great jiggly type of movements. Now, did you know that Mendelssohn wrote that piece in one day? That's right. Can you imagine coming to school at 8:30 in the morning and sitting down at your desk, and by the time you leave at 3 o'clock, you have a fully orchestrated concerto for clarinets? Yeah? Well, maybe you can try that next week. Yeah?
It is possible. Now, someone else who was very, very good at composing was Ludwig van Beethoven. Now, he was also German, and he lived around about the same time as Mendelssohn. And he used all of the same ingredients in his pieces as Mendelssohn. So he would use musical conversation, and he used melodies and tunes and accompaniments, but he used them in his very own particular way.
That's right, he did. And we're going to get the chance now to learn some of the melody of his 8th Symphony. It's the very beginning, the very first bit. So Eric's going to give us a hand, and we're going to do it call and response. So I'm going to sing a little bit, and you copy after me. Beethoven's 8th.
Beethoven's 8.
It goes just like this.
It goes just like this.
Down and then up.
Down and then up.
Let's sing it together.
Let's sing it together.
Beautiful. Let's string all of those together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Beethoven's 8.
It goes just like this. Down and then up, let's sing it together. Now, who was playing the melody at the very start? Which instrument? Did anyone notice? Call it out. It was the violins. Very good. And in the second section, a different instrument was playing the melody. Did anyone notice? It's very soft and right up the back. Did anyone notice? It was the clarinet. That was David right up the back there. And because there's only one of him, his sound is a little bit softer compared to the violins. So we're going to add some dynamics when we sing it now. The first bit is going to be big and loud, and the second bit, soft and gentle, so that we balance with the clarinets. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Beethoven's age, it goes just like this.
Down and then up, let's sing it together. Beautiful. That sounds great. You ready to sing it with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra? What was that? Are you ready to sing it with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra? Yes!
Yeah, wake up now.
Excellent. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Beethoven's age.
It goes just like this. Down and then up, let's sing it together. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Now, you noticed that the violins were playing the melody in that little bit. Let's listen to the next section, and I want you to notice who's playing the accompaniment. Here we go. Did anyone pick it up? Which family was playing the accompaniment? Someone said strings, that's right.
That's right, it was the rest of the strings playing the accompaniment, and the rest of the strings, so we have the first violins, they often play the tune, but we also have second violins who have a very important role. We have the viola section. The viola, it looks like a violin, it is actually a little bit bigger. We have the cellos, which are obviously the finest instrument in the string section, and we have the double basses.
Yeah, the double bass. That's right. So we've met the strings. Now, a little bit later on, Beethoven takes the melody you just learnt and he chops it up and shares it amongst the woodwind family. So let's meet them now. We've got Jack on the bassoon and David on the clarinet. And here's Thomas again on the oboe and Prue on the flute. And this is what it sounds like when they have a conversation all together. Oh, lovely. Round of applause.
So that's the string section and the woodwind section in this piece of Beethoven. So we've got two more sections to meet, and although they're the smallest, I think they're probably the loudest. The woodwind keep trying to have that conversation, and they keep being interrupted like this. Can you tell me which sections that was doing the interrupting? Just call it out if you know. Brass, and there was one other section. The trumpets in the brass section, that's right, there we are. Percussion, that's it. Now, in the brass section today, they might be the louder section in the orchestra, but they can walk very quietly.
Very sneaky.
The brass section today consists of trumpets and horns, and Beethoven mostly uses them as a team in this piece, and they play lots of those long-held chords, but these instruments can do so much more. Let's have a listen to Saul on the horn. There you go. You can... And the trumpet can play like this. Thank you very much, Shane. Big hand for the brass section. Now, our percussion section today consists of just one person, and that's because Beethoven didn't use a lot of percussion instruments. He mostly just uses the timpani, which are the big drums that sound like this. Brent also has a few other things up there that can do lots of different things. Bravo. Thank you, Brent. Now, we've heard about the different ingredients in the music. We've got musical conversation, we've got melody and accompaniment, and Beethoven uses one other very, very important musical ingredient, and I'm going to get the orchestra to demonstrate it now if I can, but we're all going to have to be really, really quiet if we're going to hear this one. So are you ready, everyone? Okay. Can we be just a tiny bit quieter or we won't hear it? And there it is. It's actually silence. Because silence is a really important part of music. Because for one thing, it's like a blank canvas that we can put our music into. And for another thing, you'll find out how Beethoven uses it in very surprising ways in a minute.
That's right. So we're going to hear the first symphony of the first movement of Beethoven's Eighth Symphony, and you're going to see the woodwind conversation is going to come back a few times, and the melody that we learnt, and watch out for some bars of silence as well. So enjoy.
Now, some of you might have been expecting to see one extra person here today, standing about there. Often associated with an orchestra, you might expect to see a conductor, exactly. Dale, why don't we have a conductor?
That's a very good question, Nick. Well, actually, in Beethoven's time, orchestras tended to be quite a bit smaller, and they didn't always need a conductor. So instead, everyone would follow the lead violin, and we would use our eyes and our ears to communicate with each other.
Well, that seems pretty... I think it's working quite well, wouldn't you say? Let's keep going like that.
I think so. Yeah, we're very lucky to have the wonderful concertmaster Dale looking after us. Let's give him a big round of applause. All right, so far we've met two soloists. We had Lloyd and... Who was the other soloist? Michael, that's right. And Michael was playing the clarinet and Lloyd was playing... Who remembers? Starts with a B. Basset. Basset Horn, that's right. Yes.
Nice one.
And we've learnt about the music of Mendelssohn and Beethoven, very good. And at the beginning of the concert, Eric sang us a beautiful song in his language of the Nyampa people. And now we get a chance to learn a song that has language from the Nyampa people as well, that Eric has written. So, Eric, can you tell us a bit about Yanana?
Yes. Yanana means to go on a journey in my language, Nyampa. I wrote this song and it's about going on a journey through open country. Sort of like a scrub in Australia, like a bushland. Some of the ingredients I used in this piece were the harmony, the body percussion, yeah, and the words. And the most important ingredient was the melody, because in my people's songs, the melody, the notes, they go down, they move down. And that's sort of what I wanted to continue on in this song, this tradition.
Oh, fantastic. So we're going to get a chance to learn the melody, and I think some people might already know this song. But for all the people who haven't done it before, we're going to have a refresh. Before we learn the melody, we need to know the words. So can you take us through them, Eric?
Yes. Ngatu,
Natu,
Wirika,
Wirika,
Yanani,
Yanani,
Yanani.
Yanani. Hey,
Nga-
what do those words mean? That first
Yes,
bit?
they mean, Ngatu means I, Wirika means open country, sort of like this in sign language too. And Yanani means to go on a journey.
So I go on a journey through open country.
Yeah. And Ngatu,
Natu,
the second verse. Dinanga,
Tinanga,
Yanani,
Yanani,
Yanani.
Yanani. And so what do those words mean?
Ngatu means I. Dinanga means on my feet. And Yanana means to go on a journey.
So I go on a journey on my feet, because you need your feet when you walk on a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So we've got the words down pat. Let's learn the melody. Can everyone stand up? Yeah, get your jiggles out. Here we go. Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani. Great, such big voices early in the morning. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the second ingredient is the harmony. Let's learn it now. It's a little bit higher, so stand up nice and straight. Raise your eyebrows. Natu,
Wirika,
Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga,
Yanani, Yanani.
Beautiful. Let's test out if the melody and harmony sound okay together. Should we try?
Yeah.
So we're going to go, this half of the room is going up high with me on the harmony, and that half is with Eric on the melody. Natu, Natu. Here we go. Natu,
Wirika,
Yanani,
Yanani,
Natu,
Tinanga, Dinanga. Yanani. Yanani.
Great. So my team, when I go like this, we're going to sing the harmony. You can just follow me. Fantastic. All right, we've got the melody, we've got the harmony. What's the next part? We're missing one more section. Who knows? Body percussion.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, copy after us. Stomp,
Stomp, thigh, thigh.
Stomp, stomp, chest, chest,
clap.
Stomp,
Stomp, chest, clap.
elbow slap, chest, thigh.
Elbow slap, chest, thigh.
Yeah, good. That last bit's tricky. Let's try it. Elbow slap. Show me. Oh, good. And then chest, thigh. Yeah, you've got it. I think they're ready.
Yeah.
Are you ready to perform Yanana with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra? Yes!
Yeah.
Excellent. So it starts really soft. So we have to be nice and quiet so we can hear the beautiful introduction. Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani. Body percussion.
Get ready.
1, 2, 3, 4. Stomp. Thigh, thigh, stomp, stomp. Chest, chest, clap. Chest, chest, clap. Elbow, stomp. Chest, thigh, stomp. Yeah. Chest, chest, clap. Chest, thigh, last one.
Yeah.
Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Wirika, Yanani, Yanani, Natu, Tinanga, Yanani, Yanani.
Get ready, last time.
1, 2, 3, 4. Stop.
Stop.
Chest, chest, clap. Yeah. Elbow slap. Chest, thigh. Yeah. Thigh, thigh, stop, stop. Chest, chest, clap. Okay, last one. Make it big. na-na-ni. That was awesome!
Ooh. Yay!
Have a seat, everybody. Congratulations.
Yeah.
We've been on tour all week, and that is the very last time that we're ever going to play it. And I think that was the best.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, it's nearly the end of the concert, but we've got one more piece to play for you. It's time for me and Eric to say goodbye. And we want you to remember that you've got music in your bodies and music in your voices, and wherever you go, now that you know how to mix together the ingredients, you can write your own pieces. Maybe not in one day, but you've got the toolkit to write your own music now.
And thank you for learning Yanana. It's been great. You guys have been amazing singing it. And also, when you go back to your school, don't be afraid to ask to learn the native indigenous language of this place here, or where you're from, your area.
That's right. And Eric and I want to say a big special thanks to the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra for playing with us all week. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks,
All right, enjoy the last piece. We'll see you later.
see ya.
So thanks Thea and Eric. It's been great having you presenting with us. We do have time for one more piece. Just before we play that, I wanted to let you know that if you want to find out more about the instruments of the orchestra, or if you want to find out more about Mendelssohn or Beethoven, or perhaps if you want to do a performance of Yanana in your own school, you can find lots of resources on the MSO webpage. So we've heard so much about all these musical ingredients. We're going to listen to one more piece by Beethoven where he puts them together in the most perfect way. This is the fourth movement of his 8th symphony. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.